Good morning. I'm Andy Myers at Weiss Research.
I'm Jen Amos, and this is your morning market alert for Wednesday, August 24th. It looks like stocks on Wall Street may turn down again after 2 straight days of gains, including a huge rally yesterday. Those advances were mainly due to optimism over Ben Bernanke's upcoming speech in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. At last year's gathering of international central bankers and economists, he indicated that the Fed would embark on a second round of quantitative easing to boost the economy. Many investors are hoping for a similar signal from the Fed chief on Friday. However, most Fed watchers believe that Bernanke will stop short of announcing a QE3 program or specific plans to prop up the economy in the markets.
Overseas, traders were largely immune to the positive sentiment that gripped the U.S. market yesterday. Asian stocks fell sharply overnight amid continued fears about the global economic outlook. Moody's investor service cut Japan's sovereign debt rating from AA3 to AA2 and gave the country a stable outlook. Moody said the downgrade reflected concerns about Japan's large budget deficits and a buildup in government debt over the past 2 years. In Tokyo, the Nikkei 225 lost 1%, while Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index dropped more than 2%. Meanwhile, the major European markets are holding on to modest gains, despite some troubling economic data. A closely watched index of German business sentiment from the IFO Institute fell much more sharply than expected in August, underlining concerns that Europe's sovereign debt crisis could threaten even the region's largest economy.
Outside of equities, the other asset markets are relatively stable, as traders await Ben Bernanke's speech on Friday. Investors are also digesting a report on July durable goods orders, and we'll bring you those numbers after the opening bell. In the meantime, gold is lower for the second day in a row, after posting records in 5 of the previous 6 sessions. Right now, the precious metal is trading just below $1,850 an ounce, and crude oil is holding steady above $85 a barrel, as we await the weekly data on U.S. fuel inventories due out later this morning. We are seeing a bit of surprise in the currency markets. The dollar is drifting lower against both the yen and the euro, as investors shrug off both Japan's credit downgrade and the weak reading of German business sentiment. And treasuries are holding relatively steady. The bond markets, above all others, are likely to be in a wait-and-see mode leading up to Jackson Hole.
On the corporate front, one of the day's biggest stock movers may be Sprint Nextel. The Wall Street Journal reports that the company will begin selling the new version of the Apple iPhone in mid-October. Sprint will also begin selling the iPhone 4 at the same time. Currently, only AT&T and Verizon have the right to sell the iPhone. The deal helps Sprint compete with the top 2 wireless carriers, and it may also help AT&T win regulatory support for its proposed acquisition of T-Mobile USA, the number 4 carrier. Homebuilder Toll Brothers may also open higher. It reported a 54% jump in fiscal third quarter earnings, helped by a bigger tax benefit. But revenues fell 13% as the company delivered fewer homes and saw an uptick in its cancellation rate. We're also getting quarterly results from several retailers this morning, including American Eagle Outfitters, Express, and Guest. And after the closing bell, we'll hear from Applied Materials. That's the latest from Weiss Research. We'll be back after the opening bell with all the economic data and market reaction.